In their 32-page motion to dismiss Drake's lawsuit, UMG calls Drake a put. What up, words? Your boy Challz Brown back again, talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership, gang. First and foremost, there is no such thing as defamation in a rap battle. I repeat, maybe there's some Gen Zers that are new to this culture. Maybe there are some old heads that misinterpreted the culture, but you cannot be defamed in a rap battle. It is impossible. The sheer nature of a rap battle is to be insulted. You cannot get into a rap battle and not be insulted. They can call you anything. Let's just start there. For the Drake fans that are going to leave 45 seconds in, I may have beat the curve, I may have not. Just so you know what's going on, you cannot be defamed in a rap battle. End of story. Everything else you're going to write, because they're going to write something in the comments, something ridiculous about this is for the artist, which they've given up on that one. They've given up that this is for the artist. Now it's against Lucian Grange. Somehow Lucian Grange is the problem when Drake entered the rap battle. Remember the guy? I study rap battles for a living. Remember that guy?
I study rap battles for a living.
I don't think he studied enough of them, because you cannot be defamed in a rap battle. You threw as many shots as you can throw. He threw a couple whoppers back. He knocks you on your ass, and now you're suing your label as if it's their fault. Drake fans, gang, I'm just curious, man. I'm gonna get into the whole, I'm going to get into the lawsuit. We're going to have a good time, gang, because this is what we're here for. I have it. I'm going to read some of it. I'm not going to the whole 32 pages. I'm going to go like 5 or 6. We're going to have a great time. We're going to be here for a little bit, but I'm just curious as you look at your mans, right? You know how you go, your mans, he got to fight out the school, and you go down, we're going together, me, you, Ronnie, Momo, and y'all get to the school, and it's man versus Ray or whoever's fighting, and they start the fighting, and it's a good fight. They clutching, bang, bang. All of a sudden, sleeper mode, dude goes down. Then he goes down again, tries to get back up, he goes down again. He goes down 3-4 times. And as sure as day, as clear as a bell, this dude lost. He lost bad. He lost real bad. And then he gets up. He looks at you and says, why you let him hit me like that? This is what's happening right now, gang, in a nutshell. Drake is suing for defamation because he was called a bad word, and they want to make it like this word is the worst word on the face of the earth. But newsflash, you jumped in a battle, which you clearly, just like UMG said, you egged it on. And you jumped in with both feet, and you egged it even further, going, nah, you gonna follow through, drop. And when he dropped, he used the exact angles that you told him to use when you did your tailor-made freestyle, and you got caught with a body shot, and it hurt, and you slumped, and you went down, and the whole world was at that schoolyard when you got your ass beat. Oh, man, it was satisfying because we wanted this battle. It's been 10 years in the making, and it was satisfying, gang. I'm just going to be honest, because you was talking big. You was talking reckless. Matter of fact, you was talking reckless when you still was the little kid trying to make a name out of Canada. You was talking about they don't want these problems. Remember when you was talking to, who was it, Angie Martinez? And she was like, it'll be good to see you in a battle. You was like, no, it won't, because when I jump in, basically you was telling us, when you jump in, everybody need to scatter, because here come old boy. And whenever that interview dropped, we've been waiting to see old boy. And you had a good run. Tore Meek Mill ass up. As handicapped in one side as that battle was, you won. You was 1-0. You was the man. You was living. Is that your world tour or your girl tour? Wife and niggas. Like, it was crazy. Back to back. He was dancing on his grave. Wasn't you playing? Didn't you say you was at the same hotel and you was blasting back to back and he was downstairs, couldn't get no sleep? Remember when you went to Philly? They told you couldn't come to Philly? Said you better not go to Philly. You went to Philly. You performed back to back in Philly. Oh, man, for a time, it was good. It was good money. It was good fried chicken, gang. Just gonna be honest. It was great. It was what a time to be alive. You won a battle. You knocking out all bombs. You was so confident you didn't even have to respond to certain people no more. You left Joe Budden on red. Joe Budden called you 4 times with 4 diss records and you left them on red, all of them. You was leaving dudes on red. You was even subbing your, what, idols become rivals. You was subbing your idols. At that point, your idols was your rivals. And for a time, it was good. Got a little cocky, though. Got a little bit cocky. And you let this guy named Pusha T bait you into a battle. But sometimes when people fight, they act like their guards is low and let you rush in face first. And you fell for the bait that Pusha T let out there for you. He led you with some bait, and you hit him with duppy, right? It was time. You had another one. You had another one in store. You was waiting. Remember? And this dude, I don't know who sent him this picture because nobody had ever seen it, but he took this picture and he took that Jay-Z beat, and it was surgical. It was a surgical summer. And all we saw was a man get dissected from beginning to end. I went back recently, listened to the story of Adidon, and it's still vicious. And I think it's so vicious. We miss some of that stuff. We miss some of them lines in Story of Adidon. Some of that stuff Pusha does not get credit for because they've been rewriting the narrative that all he did was expose that child. He said a lot in Story of Adidon. And them body shots was bang, bang. And Drake was on the canvas. And guess what? What's this guy? Jay Prince came in, stopped the fight. Drake says, I have a vicious rap. I done got all kind of dirt. I'm coming back and I'm gonna kill it. Jay Prince was like, stop the fight. You worth way too much money to be rolling down in the mud with them 2nd graders. Stop the fight. You in the 3rd grade, boy. Get up, get your books and get on out of here. And sure enough, Drake came back with some hit records. He's giving out money all on the internet. Right? It's God's plan. Even though he was only doing it to get at XXXTentacion and kind of get his goat, it was only to bite what he was already doing and to make it his. He just take his thing. It is what it is. We all know it's the story of it's what happened. But then all of a sudden, something that was bubbling and brewing, but it only got really set off. It'd been bubbling and brewing for years, but nobody really, the battery wasn't in the back. It just was a little, you sub me, I sub you with Kenny. But then J. Cole, good old, sweet, innocent, everyday man J. Cole, foolishly thought he could heal this beef by getting both of you on the same record because he just wants peace in the world. He wants y'all to ride a 3-man bike in tandem all through the back roads of North Carolina together, all the way up to Canada. So he decided to get you to do a record with him called First Person Shooter. And he knew it was a risk, but he asked Kenny, and you somehow, both of you asked Kenny some kind of way, and he said, nah, son, we got some issues. Before I get on that record, we need to get on a conversation, which I'm sure was declined to some degree. Because Kenny don't really talk on the phone, allegedly. Now, with that being said, after that song dropped, things became a little interesting because you and Cole was talking reckless. That First Person Shooter was enough to get anybody pissed. But I'm not K-Dot, so if I'm him and I'm listening to you guys doing the Super Bowl, with big as the suit, the video had to cost $2 million. Easy. $2 million video, you the Spider-Man meme. Is it me? Is it Drake? Is it Kendrick? Who the best? I'm Muhammad Ali. They heard all this. He's like, these dudes is playing with me right now. They playing with me. They think it's a joke. And I ain't forget about that freestyle at the end of the video of First Person Shooter. Ooh, that was nasty, nasty work. Anybody out there listening to the sound of my voice, go back and put on First Person Shooter and skip through the J. Cole. Let's skip through all that. Just get to the verse that Drake is rapping by himself. Ooh, it's a lot of subs in that record. Oh boy, they nasty. He's bodying K Dot. Listen what I'm telling you. Nobody talks about the freestyle after him and the freestyle after. Oh my God, there's a lot of dirty work in there, gang. So Kendrick was like, you know what? I'm gonna tap these two suckers on the chin. I'm just gonna tap them. Not even, it's just an open hand just to remind y'all, hey. All that fake shit. Hey. I'm just gonna tap him on the chin. So guess what happened? He comes with Like That with Future, who surprisingly sounds, they both complement each other on this record. I'm just gonna be honest. One of the hardest beats of 2024. And it set the rap world on fire. He didn't say much, but he said enough. Now, any rapper that knows, I don't know about the rest of the world, but any hip-hopper knows that could have easily been ignored. We was hyping it up. Oh, he got to say something, but we know dead ass Drake didn't really have to respond because he never really dissed him. Right? Two dead niggas rapping on stage, holding hands on stage. It's after Big Three, it's Big Me. It's really light stuff that Drake could have just subbed them in the next record. And we could have continued the 10-year Cold War. It didn't need a whole thing. The internet was gassing, but the internet always gasses. This dude, Drake, wanted to do some push-ups. But from the very beginning of this battle, it was a scary battle because you leaked the shit. You leaked it and you like listening, like, what they saying? What they talking about? And people was like, it's AI, but it's okay. He's like, oh, they like it? Okay, it's not AI. Let me clean it up. Take some of these bars out, switch a little bit of stuff around, then I'm gonna drop it on DSPs, and you will get the song. It's gonna be called Push-Ups, and it's gonna be drop and give me 20. I'm going nuts. So he drops this thing, right? The whole world is like, oh my God. This is happening. Shout out to the company, man. It's all happening. We got him. It's the battle we've been waiting. We 10 years since the Control verse. 10 years, and this guy finally, we got it. And guess what? Kendrick was quiet. So then you took and made another song, AI, of all things. You made AI verse, 2 verses. You wrote Snoop's verse, who Snoop stupidly didn't discredit from day one. Like, that's not me. I didn't do it. He played into it. And then you did Tupac's voice, which I'm going to be honest, it's refreshing. I low-key miss Tupac. I'm just going to be honest. It made me miss Pac. I know it was your ass, but it made me miss, well, we don't have a Pac now. But you imitated Pac, and you told him in Pac's voice, Kendrick, we need ya. Call him a bitch for me. Use the angle that he liked young girls. I heard it on the Joe Budden podcast. As if Pac will be sitting back listening to the Joe Budden podcast. But you hit him with 2 records. You was 2-0. You was 2-0 with no response. You was waiting. And then out of nowhere, one day, I don't remember if it was sunny outside or pitch black. I'm almost certain it was like, when I got wind of it, it was middle of the day. And this dude came back. Everybody's like, Kenny dropped. Euphoria dropped, and it was how many monkeys is jumping on the bed, because he was all on your ass. Just gonna be honest. And it was from that point on, it was super turned up. But did you run? No, you fought. You came back with another record, another one. And no sooner you dropped that thing, this dude queued up another record in 20 damn minutes. You had a whole campaign. See, you was playing catch up. You had a whole campaign. You had a video. You had a song. You had a whole movement. You crushed the Good Kid, Mad City van. You had beat switches, like 3 beat switches. Oh man, you hit 20 dudes in one record. It was a work of art. If you into that. I'm not into that. I like my rappers to battle each other. But it's okay. It's okay. If you into that, you into that. You came back after he told you keep it rap. He said, no, don't bring the families involved. But he knew you would. Dude wrote 10 diss records for you. You didn't know it. Then you dropped this record. And before academics could stop screaming, celebrating, he had ran it back probably, 20 minutes. He had probably ran it back because he probably kept stopping in the middle of bars and hollering about the bars. So he probably ran it a good 4 or 5 times. And this dude Kenny dropped Meet the Grams, and everybody went, argh. They wasn't even finished digesting your bars. I was, but they wasn't. And before you knew it, this dude was talking to your moms, your dad, your son, and you, and your daughter, in quotations, which at the time was a big deal because you all were saying he don't have a daughter. This is dumb. He's stupid. He's a liar. Nobody cared, gang. This is a battle. It's a battle. We are getting to the point where battles, everybody wants to break down and dissect and be like, that's not actually factual. Right? Rockefeller didn't die of AIDS, but Nas said, Rockefeller died of AIDS. That's the end of your chapter. And that's the guy you chose to name your company after. That's what people do in battles, is sensationalism. But that wasn't the end of that. Because this dude came back with more. He came back with 616. And then he came back with the infamous record that we are getting this lawsuit for. And I know I talked for a long time. It's my channel. This is what I do. And here we are. On that record, he said, certified lover boys, certified pedophile. Whap, 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 whap. Don't fuck them up. And for some reason, that line was the worst line in the history of rap. Because for some reason, you've decided that that line, that one line, is the reason you are allowed to open up a lawsuit against your record label, which is also his record label. And for some reason, you think that you can usurp everything we've built in this culture, and all of a sudden, you can make a lawsuit because you lost a rap battle. UMG, in the most corporate way I have ever seen, called you a pussy. I used to work in different corporate offices, and they are very technical when they put things in writing. The litigation has to be flawless. The wording has to be extremely professional because they're going to be presenting this to judges, lawyers, all kind of people in the judicial system, and yes, a jury. This has to be very concise. And when I'm reading through this thing, they're like, Drake is a pussy. Somebody on Twitter wrote, they posted this because they're always at it every day. He put, do you want Drake to lose to this guy? And he had a picture of Lucien Grange. And you know what I wrote under that? Against Drake? Yeah, I do. I want this guy to win. Because Drake is a pussy, and Drake is representing hip-hop, which I take very, very strong offense to. Him coming into this game talking about he's very well versed in battle rap, and then he goes and makes a lawsuit like a pussy. So yeah, I want him to lose. Don't try to hide behind the culture when you ain't following the culture's rules. You're trying to hide behind the culture now. You guys you're rooting for the white corporate structure. Who gives a fuck? We don't give a fuck about what you're talking about, because this is our thing. You got into a rap battle. You're not going to drag rap up into a courtroom and then try to use the culture to lick your wounds because you got your ass beat by Man. So, no. I don't care who's on the other side of the table. I want them to win. I hope they throw this shit out. I hope it ain't gonna go to court, because the last thing you want is this guy taking this to court, because you can see where it's going with this. They already dragged up everything the internet said, and this is not everything. They're just trying to get it dismissed. Once this thing, if you keep pushing and you try to go to court, they're gonna start really digging. I keep saying they're gonna find them girls that was at that party with them wine coolers. It's gonna get nasty. They're going to start talking about cases that was paid off, $500,000 cases that was paid off. It's going to get ugly. They're going to start talking about the guy in the wheelchair at the hotel and how they ended up with all of your dad's medication and prescriptions, and how did this happen? It's going to get bad. They're going to start painting you as an awful person and a vindictive person who's a liar. It's going to get ugly. This ain't going to be pretty, gang. I'm just going to be honest. So no. You should want this to be thrown out and move forward. You're trying to get off that label, but it's not going to work. And according to your fans, you've paid off all the money. He been paid that $400 million. And then why are you still there? Why are you trying to get more? You can get more without him. Go independent. What we talking about? When they said on Juice, this nigga scared, right? He tried to say Q was scared to hold the gun. I think Drake's scared to hold the gun. He wants to blame his label and get out of the contract and get get something somewhere else, something bigger, but it ain't nothing bigger. He knows that there's nothing out there bigger than UMG. Because without the muscle to push the records, who's going to be big enough to do what they do for you? But you know that, because that's why you're suing them, instead of just walking away. Apparently, you supposedly had paid the $400 million 2-3 years ago. Why are you still there? What's happening? Because it ain't paid, because they need a lot more back than what they gave you from the front. That's why. But don't mind me. I'm just a humble servant, gang. I just do this for YouTube. Break things down, document things. That's all. It is what it is. I want to have this conversation because I find this to be utterly ridiculous that they even had to respond, because you jumped out there and got your hot ass in a battle that you couldn't finish. On the hard part 6, you're saying you're doing too much. Now, a real MC would have never said none of that shit. He would have stood on everything and came back more. Everybody's like, yo, the battle's not over. No, according to Drake, he said he was done rapping. He was done talking about it. Remember that? On the hard part 6, so yes, the battle is over. He said he lost. The people said he lost. They're still trying to rewrite this thing on Twitter, but I don't know why. Every day you can go on Twitter right now. Some guy's writing a post about this battle. I just saw a post right before I went and started recording this saying that by all accounts, he had a poll from Complex that showed that Family Matters had outpaced something, the other song, whatever the other song was, and they're bringing up old stuff from last year. They're still trying to fight this battle in the court of public opinion, but they don't understand the battle's over. They're trying to besmirch Kenny's name every day. Kenny ain't even online, gang. But what they're trying to do is what they do in politics. They beat you over the head with something so many times, so long, you start to forget that that they're wrong, and that never happened. They tell you something happened over and over and over. They're hoping that within a year's time that no one will remember how bad this guy got beat. They'll keep rewriting his history so much that before you look up, the history will be rewritten that Drake won. That's what they're hoping, gang. That's the end game of this. All these things about his numbers, all these things about what he's doing now, all these things about what Kenny's a hypocrite. All this stuff is to defame this guy and make it like at the end of the day that somehow history was recorded wrong and Drake won. Drake is the king of this and that and the third. He sells more records than anybody. He's the biggest artist in the world. He got dissed and he shook it off. And now when Drake comes out with his so-called Act 2 and he's going to be dissing, he's going to be talking them hella shit, and they're gonna make it like, see, I told you, my boy, man, it's a year late. It's a year too late, but they don't care about that. They're gonna be like, yo, I told you, my boy, da da da. It's gonna be a lot of high fives. It's gonna be a lot of happy-go-lucky. They're gonna be doing a lot of backflips, right? It's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna look like the Olympics, gang. They're gonna be throwing javelins. They're gonna be running track, jumping hurdles. It's gonna look crazy because to them, it could be a year and a half, 2 years later, they're still in this battle for some reason. This lawsuit is trash. UMG is trying to get it dropped, as they should, and I hope they do get it dropped. But let me read to you from this lawsuit, because I want to get into it. I know I took a long time, but I wanted to give the context in the only way that I can. So UMG, the introduction, right? I got it right here. They used a quote from Drake's early music when he says, yeah, I want it all. That's what I strive for. Diss me and you'll never hear a reply for it. So they're basically saying you're supposed to be the not reply guy. You're supposed to be the unbothered, calm, cool, collected. You can't rattle me. And somehow you jumped into this battle, got your ass beat and got called a pedophile. Now you want to sue us for making it somehow our fault, for making it somehow, if it wasn't for us, this would have never happened. No, if it wasn't for you, this would have never happened. And the people that really, you got to see the mental gymnastics they're doing to make this case, gang. It's sad. It's sad, gang. And I can name some of the biggest players in this that make this. They're all day. Some chick called the attorney, and some guy named Caribou, and it's all day, gang. It's some guy named Low. It's a sad team. It's a sad team of just really, really hurt people. They hurt inside, gang. It is pathetic to watch, because no matter what this guy does, they do the gymnastics to make it work. They're calling people all out their names. If you don't agree, it is sad. This is this lawsuit is disrespectful to hip hop. But I want to read the countersuit, because Drake responded, right? Drake's team responded to this already. They're quick with it, because they know what's coming. So they released a statement. But UMG went on to write, plaintiff, one of the most, Drake is the plaintiff. Plaintiff, one of the most successful recording artists of all time, lost a rap battle that he provoked and in which he willingly participated. Instead of accepting the loss like the unbothered rap artist often claims to be, he has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to salve his wounds. That is 100% fact. They're going crazy online calling UMG liars. But what else are you supposed to do when you're on the losing side of something? What else you're supposed to do? You're gonna blame, you're gonna say it's all bots. That's why he got the number. It can't be that Kenny actually beat him and he just out-rapped him and he made better music. No, it's bots. It has to be bots. They're not accepting anything other than you're cheating and you're lying. Either you're lying or you're cheating and lying. Kendrick could not have possibly beat the great hope that is called Aubrey Graham, aka Drake. I got news for you. He beat him bad. Damn near knockout. And well, it really is a knockout. Let me continue. In the spring of 2024, two of the most popular recording artists in the world, Kendrick Lamar and Aubrey Drake Graham, engaged in a high-profile rap battle. Listen to that, a high-profile rap battle. Even UMG knows what the hell is going on. I don't know who's writing the legal documents. It's probably some young brother they got in there, but it's probably a team, right? White girls, white guys, black people, or whatever. I don't know. But they wrote this thing so that if you're the most tightwad, stuffed shirt, hard bottom suit wearing judge or juror, you can still understand. They got to talk to you like a baby, right? I had this movie I used to watch called Galaxy Quest, and he said, explain it to them as if they're a child, right? You got to talk to them like they're a child, right? So you got to go back and start from the beginning, and that's what they're doing. Over the course of approximately 2 months, they exchanged increasingly volatile and incendiary diss tracks. I love, yo, when you put this shit into like, when you put it into these words, it's fascinating to me because it's like, yo, this is the basic stuff, but they got to put it in legal terms, and it's hilarious. And so the judge is sitting there like it's just listening to both sides, and he's going to make the decision, but he's going to decide that this is dumb. Let me continue. Sometimes responding within hours of each other. Drake encouraged the feud, for example, when he felt that Lamar was taking too long to respond. Drake released a second recording in which he goaded Lamar to continue the public rap battle. That's important. You cannot gloss over that, because what they're saying is when the battle wasn't really happening, Drake went back on and kept goading and kept asking this guy to respond. That is important. When you're claiming defamation, but you're the one doing the goading and you're the one saying, come on, say something, gang, say something. If that's you, there's a problem, and they're going to say that in court. As a matter of fact, to me, first of all, if I'm on the jury, don't put me on the jury. Because I'm going to hand in my verdict before this day one. They're going to be like, what's this paper? This is the verdict. They're going to be like, we didn't start the opening argument. This is the verdict. Read it. Like, I don't need the verdict. I don't need no time. I don't need no deliberations. This is the verdict. Read it. So I don't want no pause. But listen. Lamar did just that. And collectively, Drake and Lamar released a total of 9 tracks taking aim at each other. 9 tracks. Multiple commentators declare Lamar to be the winner. They put that in quotations of the battle. Because there's no way to quantify a winner, but it's just the street's going to tell you. The people going to tell you. The people told you. In every metric. Not Like Us won in every single way. And to the people who are critically thinking they're just open-minded, just please understand he beat this guy. He got Grammys. He got all kind of stuff for this record. The numbers are there. He did the Super Bowl. He did the pop-out. This record is still popping. There is no change in how popular this record is. And he didn't even put it on GNX. Had he put it on GNX, which would have been the smart thing to do, which Drake would have done, because he's a numbers guy, it would have blew it up. And he didn't even do that. So yes, in every single way, he beat him on Spotify. He got more followers. He beat him in every single way, in every metric. And as a Drake fan, I would be embarrassed to be like, it's bots. Those are bots. Everything's bot. Like at some point, you sound deranged. He beats him in 10, 15 different metrics. And you're saying every single metric is a lie and a cheat. At some point, the election was real, gang. At some point, election fraud never happened. Just so you know. Okay? So, he won, which is not even debatable. He beat him in every way. Now, Not Like Us, the penultimate track in the feud, is the subject of the complaint. The recording and music video were released by Lamar through defendant UMG on May 4th, 2024. This thing was huge, gang. This thing was massive. You cannot buy influence. You cannot pay for a song to be this big. It just does not happen. Right? Remember that? What was that group that I think it was? I think it was this guy from $1 Million Worth of Game. His group tried to blow them up. Forgot the name of that group. Did not happen, gang. They was the next greatest thing supposed to be out of Philly. It didn't work. What is this? 50 Thieves or so? I don't know what they was called, right? I almost got it. It was on the tip of my tongue. But you can't blow up things that's not meant to happen. Not Like Us blew up regardless. It's called organic. UMG cleaned up off this thing. The record was the best-selling rap recording of 2024 and won the Grammy Award for the record of the year, and the accompanying music video won the Grammy Award for Best Music Video. The song Not Like Us won the Grammy Award for Song of the Year. Super Bowl, Saturday Night Live, yada, 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 a whole lot of things, and it just was massive, right? The many notorious diss tracks throughout rap's history consists of a series of hyperbolic insults. They're now explaining the definition or the concept of battle rap. They're attempting to tell the court, look, these guys started this on the streets of New York. They'll battle each other, and the insults get vicious. You shouldn't jump into a rap battle unless you expect to be insulted. It is what it is. Drake has been pleased to use UMG's platform to promote tracks leveling similarly incendiary lyrics at Lamar, including, most significantly, that Lamar engaged in domestic abuse and that one of Lamar's business partners and managers is the true father of Lamar's son. See, it was cool when they was recording that. They was laughing, rolling blunts. They got a kick out of that line in the studio. Day free. They was saying that. Oh man, they was pouring cups, relighting a hookah. We need some, put some coal on this. It was crazy in the studio that day. When they made Family Matters and all, day free, it was the hottest line. They was like, battle over. Battle over. They was like, yo, get that to mastering, battle over. Right? They didn't know that 20 minutes later, the battle really was going to be over, but not the way they thought. But now, after losing the rap battle, Drake claims that Not Like Us is defamatory. It is not. While the complaint focuses almost entirely on Not Like Us, it disregards the other Drake and Lamar diss tracks that surrounded Not Like Us, as well as the conventions of the diss track genre, and thus critically ignores the context of the dispute. Yeah, the context of the dispute. That's what all of this boils down to. This thing has a context, and Drake is trying to eliminate all of that and just say, he called me a pedo. And that's not right. And my label pushed that. Your label pushed everything. They pushed everything. There's no lawsuit. There's nothing to see here. You're going to lose this. But he doesn't care because he got the message out that his dumbass fans are running around, spreading it, making it like this lawsuit was valid. So it gives him an easy out. He is solving his wounds because this gives his fans something to argue about at cookouts. They argued all last summer, and when they get to the cookout this year, they're going to argue all over again. It's embarrassing to come up to me. Like, I'm a real hip-hop head, gang. I've been in this thing for a minute, gang. And when you approach me and you say stuff like, well, you don't mind that the label... Stop. Soon as you say that, you discredit me and yourself and Drake at the same time. Soon as you start trying to talk about artistry and labels using artists, this is not that in the slightest. You know it and I know it. But you're trying to convince me, a halfway intelligent individual, that this is some fight against the label. As soon as you do that, you lose credibility because anybody and everybody knows. Anybody online trying to make this a fight against the label is either dumb or brainwashed. I'm just going to be honest. This ain't no fight against UMG. This ain't no fight against Lucian Grange. I would respect this more if this was against Kendrick. That's the most suckerest thing about the whole thing. File a lawsuit, but go after the person you're fighting. These guys are a label. They're trying to weave it into everything that labels have done for the last 50, 60 years. They've been treating artists. This is not that because Drake been getting good money. Drake not that artist. Drake got a $400 million deal, gang. Remember that? So he not the artist to stand on the soapbox talking about labels been effing artists for, like he's the 5 heartbeats. No, gang. So we're not going to let you spin that yarn and make this whole magical tale that he's saving the industry somehow. This is not that. That's why he dropped the other petition that he started to say that. And they was like, are you joking right now, right? You're going to expose the industry for botting? Is this a joke? They must have, you know how they doing those movies where the two sides meet secretly at a coffee shop or something, and they were like, they just push a paper to the side of the table, and he's like, yeah, you can keep that. We got copies of that. And he opens up the folder, and he's like, oh, shit. They probably like, gang, you don't want to take nothing to court because we'll burn this whole shit down with you in it. Drake thought he was burning them down. No, they was going to burn his ass down. Because they big. They ain't going nowhere. It don't matter what you say. Nothing's happening over there. But when they put out the millions of bots they use for your shit, that's when it's not going to hurt them. It's going to hurt you. That's why that other petition was dropped. We ain't going to see nothing else about bodying and payout. We're not going to hear none of that shit. I'm just going to be honest. Let's see. Let's see if that makes it to court. It's going to be ugly when they start saying that what they did for your ass. Let me continue. Assisted in the context as it must be, not like us, clearly conveys non-actionable opinion and rhetorical hyperbole. Diss tracks are a popular and celebrated art form centered around outrageous insults, and they would be severely chilled if Drake's suit were permitted to proceed. What they're saying is if this shit goes live, they're going to have to start checking everybody, what they're saying to each other when they do these rap battles. You're not going to be able to diss people freely because the labels are going to have to step in and start to censor what you're saying to each other, if they release it at all. So if a rapper going forward has a problem with another rapper, the label might not release it at all for fear of retribution, which would turn us into a bunch of... Let me continue. Drake also alleges that Not Like Us constitutes second-degree harassment, but sues under a criminal statute that does not prescribe speech and has no private right of action. Finally, Drake claims that UMG's promotion of Not Like Us violates New York general business law, but fails to allege any of the elements for that claim. They're saying he's making a lot of claims, but he ain't backing them up. He's saying this and that and the third, but he's not giving no just examples of it. Notably, less than 3 years ago, Drake himself signed a public petition criticizing the trend of prosecutors using artists' creative expression against them by treating rap lyrics as a literal fact. See UMG's request for judicial notice. Example, as Drake recognized, when it comes to rap, the final work is a product of the artist's vision and imagination. Drake was right then, and he is wrong now. The complaint's unjustified claims used against UMG are no more than Drake's attempt to save face for his unsuccessful rap battle with Lamar. The court should grant UMG's motion and dismiss the complaint with prejudice. And I agree, they should dismiss this shit right now with prejudice because it's corny, it's goofy, and it's puss and boots. The bubble bath rapper has outdone himself, but I don't think he cares because he's in a bubble bath somewhere, loving life, waiting for the next wrestling match, right? So that he somehow can be, once again, the top dog done daughter. And what I want to say about that is, I can no longer argue with you Drake fans about what is going on with this, because really there shouldn't be nothing else to argue about. I feel like what we've done is come to an impasse. You're going to believe what you believe, and I'm going to believe what I believe. And most people are going to take it for what it is. People that don't even understand hip-hop are going to pretty much continue to make their mind up that this is silly and goofy. I'm just going to be honest. And what we're doing right now is entertaining nonsense that actually has no place to be entertained because it's a rap battle. And we're just watching a man take his ball and go home. And that's what I want him to do. I want him to take his ball and go home, but don't try to bring down all of hip-hop with it. UMG is not a hip-hop label. That is a music label. So they have no real dog in this fight. They just want to beat Drake and move on with their lives and get music going. But for them to have to explain to the courts that, son, this is dumb and you look goofy, is really sad to me. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know why we had to have Lucien Grange and his legal team break down why this shouldn't be happening and why hip-hop was like this since the 70s. I'm going to leave it at this. Let me know what you think in the comments, what you have to say. This is an ongoing story, and we're going to have to continue to update you on why this Puss in Boots is still going around sulking and licking his wounds. All right, let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
CLB.